Hi guys, this is going to be an instruction video for the prom dress flies. I tie them in two colors, pink orange and blue black. I think you could do more colors, maybe purplish kind of a color, might be a good seller too. I pre-cut 1.8 millimeter hard plastic clear tubes, 2 inches long. Slide them on the mandrel. Place the mandrel in the tube holder with the rear of the tube sitting like this. Then I tie in 10/0 Vivus standard thread. Wrap it around my finger, tie it in, break it off. Then I tie in a butt section of it's called Semperfly Plus Chenille. We sell it. I forget the length of it, but the longest size they have of the fibers. I like that butt to be quite big and help in support of the wing that comes afterward. And I like it big as an attractor from steelhead approaching it from the rear. I take 2 turns of that and tie it off. Clip off the excess. And I leave that just kind of bushy like that. Next step is guinea fowl. I use the ones that we've selected for the large packages, the large guinea fowl feathers. I strip off the excess feather where it gets fluffy, just at the end of where it gets fluffy. You want to use as much guinea fowl as you can. Then prepare the tip of the feather by stroking away there so that it looks like that. Then I tie it in, not at this point, because it wants to break there where the thread, if the thread ties in there, but I tie it in here. Tie it in at that spot, and then with the thread I go forward on the tube and come back. That traps the feather point backward. Rather than having to do that manually with your left hand, it's quicker to do it like that. Then I bring the thread forward about that far. So that I'm going to hackle kind of with a wide spacing between there. That's going to be supportive of the marabou hackle that comes over top of it. So this one I wrap quite spread out, and I don't worry too much about it being flat. I want it to be unruly big like that, so that it really supports the wing. I tie that off, bit winding it forward, then backward again, while keeping tension on it. I pull off the excess stem. So now we have this unruly kind of underbody. Then we use 2 marabou feathers, and I'm preparing them a little bit different. For commercial tying, it's probably good to have somebody do this ahead of time and prepare a whole bunch of feathers. And the first one I prepare with more feather left on to tie with. So that becomes the main bulk of the fly. Feather like that big. Then I stroke the top back, same as with the guinea fowl. Do the same tie-in technique, not on this point, but I tie it in here. Then tie it, bring your thread a bit forward, take the tip backward. And now you have this little section where you're going to tie hackle the feather. Pull off the excess of the tip of the feather. And then bring your marabou feather, hackle it forward. There. Tie it off. Pull it back pretty good. Tie it off again. And this one I clip off because it's too big to pull away. Then I comb it out quickly. And now I have the main underbody like that. Then for the next step, I use that UV shimmer flash that we're producing. And I take about 4 strands. And I tie that on the top, equal lengths, tie it in, and then spread it out so that it covers the first 180 degrees of the tube. Like that. There. And I do the same on the bottom with orange. You can mix this up too and do different colors, blend the fibers, whatever kind of. You can use pearl, flash, but I like using our own product. And I like how this kind of brightens up the fly a little bit. This is very vibrant colors. Tie that on the bottom. Okay, then next wing is the pink. And that one I keep very sparse, so that I pull away the fibers quite high on the feather. Like that. So you have just a little bit on the feather. You could prepare those ahead of time. Tie in it in the same fashion. So the idea is that you don't get a huge bulk of pink and you don't see the orange. You want to see that orange kind of shining through to it. Tie that off. Tie it back. This again is usually too big to pull it away, so I clip it off. Comb it out a bit. There, and now you see that that orange shines through nicely, but is kind of hackled in the front with pink. Then we get the final step of the Lady Amherst. Clip off some Lady Amherst side feathers, fibers. from a center tail. I have these dyed pink, or I dyed them myself. And then I have it like that in my hand, and then I do this a little bit between my fingers with some pressure. And you see then the tips start to spread out. And then I can tie that in, the longest tip, then do the next longest tip, do the next longest tip, etc. And you go all the way evenly around the fly, as much as even as you can. And you keep kind of doing this kind of a movement between your fingers to spread it out. There. Finish it off with a nice orange head. Try to keep it as small as possible. Then I whip finish this fly twice, because this thread doesn't whip finish the greatest, and it doesn't hold its knot very well. It wants to twist a bit. So I double it up, because otherwise you're going to get it unraveling. And I usually take 4 turns on the whip finish, and I do that twice. And then I finish it with Sally Hansen Hard as Nails. If you would ever find a good product that you can get in bulk, I would make your own varnish or glue and put it in little jars and sell it. But you'd have to experiment with what you really like. Sally Hansen is okay, but I like something that glues more. And that's it. Then you clip it off there at the front. Done. So the rear is like this. Where is it? It sticks out a little bit, like centimeter. Okay. That's that one, Hobo Spey.